So today on episode 11 of the lockdown, we have current NRL West Tigers captain and NRL superstar, Mr. Queensland, Moses Mbye. Thanks for coming in, bro.
Thanks for having me on, brother. What an intro.
Yeah, you're a superstar. Remember that. Mate, now how's isolation treating you?
Oh, it's been all right, man. It's look, I've got to spend a lot of time with my family, a lot of time with the kids. I've been just doing some odd jobs around the house that I wouldn't normally do, so it hasn't been as bad as I thought. I'm getting a little bit over it now, though. I'm looking forward to breaking out of here.
So you got 3 kids, yeah? You got 2 girls and 1 boy?
Yeah, 2 girls and a boy. They're all under 5, so I've got a handful here. So
fuck.
yeah, it keeps us pretty busy. But it's been good. We've been trying to tire them out. I think the kids are going to get over it more than we are. But been keeping them busy. They've been keeping us busy, so it's all good.
Is that why you're wearing a hat so you can cover all the hair you pulled out, or?
Yeah, mate, all that. Can't go to the barber. Hey, you can't be pulling any hair jokes.
Hey, I'm all right. I don't let a barber. I just fucking shave it every day. How is it that you got a baby boy? Now I got 3 girls. One's 17, one's 5, and the other one's 1. Right, mate. I love them. It's fucking great with women's sports and all that shit. But how good is it having a boy? Please tell me, because there's guys like me that just always want one.
Right, you know what? It is, but out of all the kids, the boy, he's the most challenging, man. Like he tests you. He tests me anyway every day. So, but they're all fun. I have heaps of fun with the girls. The girls are funny. They're, the girls they got more character, but they're a bit older. So my boy's only 1, so 1.5. So he's still just working it out.
They say the girls look after their dads as well, but I haven't seen that yet. They're always fucking all up for his money, but yeah.
long term.
Especially the fucking 17-year-old, she's awful. Oh, mate.
Oh, I bet.
Right. So, what are you hearing from NRL? Are they? I had Adam Fanua-Blake on the other day. He was a bit lost. He hadn't heard too much about what was going on. Have you got anything back about your training? I know they've said May 28 and all this crap, but what's the go? Do you know anything at all?
Yeah. So at the minute, the commission signed off on May 28 return for the comp to start. But in saying that, there's been no format set in stone. There's been no agreement from the players' side of things set in stone. So as far as the players are concerned, we don't know when we're starting. May 28, they've thrown that date out there, which is, that's all rosy. But, there's still borders closed in Queensland. There's still logistics to get a team from overseas and the Warriors to come over and play. So there's still a heap more water to go under the bridge before we can actually kick a ball off May 28. So we'll just see what happens. I think I'm probably on the same page as Adam. Everyone's just a little bit lost, a little bit confused. So we're just waiting for that clarity, someone to come in and really let us know what's going on.
Not that you're questioning NRL or its word or its integrity or whatever else I want to call it, but do you reckon it's going to be right by May 28? Honestly,
personally, I don't think so. I don't think there's too much. There's just too many moving pieces to get it to happen. I think we're really trying to, just save the financial state of the game rather than think of the effects it actually has. At the end of the day, we're the best athletes at what we do in the world. At what we do. So we need to have the facilities, have the platforms, have the environment to do that, to be that. So, I think to get the best environment, to be the best players we can be, and to put on the best shows we can do is to have everything ready to go. Ideally, you'd have the crowds back. You know what I mean? You have all those crowds back. You'd have that'll adds to the atmosphere of the players, adds to the performances. That's important. But in saying that, you're sitting on the fence because you're going, you know what, we got an opportunity to get the game going. We got an opportunity to show the world this product, what we do, show the country what we do. So, all the players want to get back on the field. We're not complaining, but we want to do it properly and we want to do it safely as well.
And that's what the next question was going to be. You are the best. You guys are the best at your business in the world. So May 28 is 6 weeks away. You've been doing isolation training. Going for a fucking run or lifting a bit of weights. But let's be realistic. When you're playing, you basically are there for 80 hours a day, training, eating, exercising, fucking massage, recoveries, blah blah. You aren't doing that now. So
100%.
is 6 weeks enough time to actually get your body into that physical, performance to get, you would need more than 6 weeks to come back to preseason. Are these guys really kidding themselves?
No, you're 100% on there. I mean, 6 weeks. I think it's adequate. I think we could do it. 6 weeks. I think that's enough. Only because we've got a pretty good base on the preseason we've just completed. You got to remember the comp got stopped in round 2. We're only 4 weeks out of preseason or something like that. So I mean, 6 weeks is good. I mean, once we start talking about 2 weeks, you can't a real fine line between the opportunity for players to get injuries, because it's not only the running and the weights that we can do. We've been doing that at home, but it's more the collisions, the contacts, we like you said, we haven't seen our physios, we haven't seen our doctors, we haven't had our just those extra 1%ers that we've got access to when we're at Clubland. So well, I think, look, it certainly raises the chance for injuries and things like that, but it'll separate the blokes who have been real professional around their business and how they go about their life from the blokes who are pretty rat's ass. You know what I mean?
You're a pretty smart guy, right? So I don't know you personally, but 26 years old, you're captain of an NRL team. I've been told you're a fucking standout leader, meaning that you must have a lot of fucking brains, right? On the RLPA perspective, so from the Players Association side, you just said before, the chance, there is a heightened chance of injury. You as a player that's making whatever you're making, right? How would you feel knowing there's a chance you can get re-injured pretty quick if they've rushed you into this? Would you, obviously yourself and other players, will they be against it? Would you guys ask, look, we don't want May 28, we'd rather fucking June or July. It's a bit safer and we'd rather extend the season. Is that a possibility?
It's a good question because, I mean, the players are really torn between the two scenarios here because if we don't play, we don't get paid, see?
Yeah.
So there's some blokes that, and you know what it's like, everyone's saying, oh, you've had all this money, where is it sort of thing. But the more money you get, the higher your lifestyle goes, you know what I mean? You get a better car, you get the better phone bill, you get the bigger TV, this is what happens naturally. Yeah. So, I mean, there's blokes that are itching for the game to kick off purely because of financial reasons, but so you're sort of willing to go put your body on the line if that's what it takes. You're willing to put your body on the line if to get the game back going and everyone start getting paid again, because it's not only yourself that's getting affected. It's at most clubs, it's the coaches, your assistant coaches, trainers, physios, so on and so on. Like, you got personal relationships with those guys where you feel a little bit responsible for helping everyone get back on their feet. You know what I mean? So, but in saying that, you don't want to be disrespected by getting treated like a racehorse. You know what I mean? Just thrown out there and you just go do your best, boys. Don't try to get injured. We'll turn you over, get another bloke. Like, you don't want to get treated like a racehorse either. But I think every individual, it depends. For me, I'm smart enough to just go, you know what? If they want to do that, I just won't play if I'm not ready. If I'm not ready, I'm not going to play. But I think I've done enough work. I feel like I've been doing a lot of work while I'm in isolation to get myself ready to go. So I think I'll be ready to go. So
do you think the NRL's doing enough to actually, like you said, a lot of the boys, basically probably majority of them would want to play for financial perspective only, right? If you're not playing, you're not fucking eating. Do you think the NRL should do more financially to help out all the players in this off? I know you're still getting paid a bit, and you will be getting paid a bit of your contract, but should they be doing more just so again, you're not a racehorse, and let's be straight out. If you blow your knee, knock on wood, like fucking you blow your knee or someone blows their knee, do it a second time, and mate, the clubs don't give a fuck about you. They're going to throw you away. It's a business. So the player has to think about themselves as well. Should the NRL be doing a bit more? Like, are they doing enough? Do you believe, or maybe I'm missing something? I don't know.
No, I don't think you're missing something. I think it's public knowledge that the NRL hasn't been sound in the way they've managed their finances over the previous years. I think they've, and they know that that's public knowledge now. They've managed to overspend, and they're going to have to go back and remodel back to the table, and they're obviously going to cut costs from the top too. So, but I mean, like, in hindsight, they've had very poor management, and we should have had more money in the tin to help us through this period. But since it's happened and shit's hit the fan and they've realised they've fucked up, and I think they've done a good job considering what they've got. We've managed to get 2 months' pay, and use some of our benefits. they've given us what they can, considering there isn't much left. But going forward, I think it's a real good lesson for everyone who's involved in the game, especially the hierarchy. They're going to go back, they're going to remodel a heap of shit just to make sure if anything happens like this again, they got some money in the tin. Because at the moment, we ran out of loot now, and the money's dried up. So
yeah. Well, they call it an act of God, but what's to say that there might be another act of God in the next 12 months and happen again somehow? So something they got to figure out.
That's another wormhole,
I learned that from you, man. Our mate told us what you said.
Didn't our mums tell us not to talk about religion or something like that? Or politics?
No politics and no religion. Exactly right. Hey, so look, you've been playing at Tigers for the last 2 seasons, or since 2018. This will be your third season, or halfway through it, mate. Quite easily, you're seen as probably the best utility in the world, right? Someone that can fucking play fullback if you need, 5'8", halfback, fucking even hooker. Do you like being that utility role in the sense that you can play anywhere when needed? Or do you want to cement yourself as a regular 7 or a regular 6 or whatever it might be?
Yeah, it's something I get asked a fair bit, and it's such a good question because it's been a real burden for me, but it's also given me the best opportunities I've ever had in my career. You know what I mean? So, for example, I've jumped around heap in NRL level trying to fuck around, trying to find a spot. But if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't have played Origin. So, I look at it that way and try to take the positive out of it. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me in terms of my achievements from Origin, but in terms of getting consistent football week in, week out, year in, year out. It's been a real burden, but when you're asked to play somewhere and you're in a team, man, you just apply yourself the best you can. You're not going to kick stones and be one of those guys that's is just one of those energy suckers. You know what I mean? You just get on with it. Have a crack. I try to pride myself on just having a crack. Wherever you get put, have a crack. Whether it be in the middle, on the edge, wing, whatever. Have a go, and if it doesn't work out, at least you can say you had a crack.
Yeah, good philosophy, man. Hey, you started your junior footy. You're from Noosa, yeah? Is that correct?
Yeah. Grew up there.
And your parents. Well, I know it says your father's Gambian. What's your mother? Is your mother Gambian as well?
Yeah, no. Our girl's she's Aussie, so she's just full Aussie, and so I just grew up with my mum up there, and just moved around a bit. And then started in Brisbane, and then moved up there with my mum, and then come down to Sydney when I was 17. Yeah, finished school 17, and just came straight to Sydney and been here ever since.
So you're Gambian, right? Like your father's Gambian. Oh, look, again, I can say this to all the boys that got different cultures. We're Aussies. Yeah. We are that. We sing the anthem and we love Australia, but fucking cut our arms. The blood is our descent, right? I've never met a Gambian in my life. That's West Africa, right? That's next to Senegal, right? I know.
Mate, you know what, brother? I haven't either.
So, both. So you're my first Gambian I've met. Do you try and relate to your culture? Have you looked into it? Have you thought about that in the past? Because I know a lot of West Africans, they're all like Cameroonians, Nigerians, man. Sometimes they're shifty as all Larry, but hey, they're fucking good blokes. The ones I met, and I deal with a lot of boxers that are from West Africa. But is it something that you look at in the future and teach your kids, or? Yeah,
definitely, man. When I had my daughter, 2015, I really got an urge to figure it out because just the reason is just one day, just in case she asked me, you know what I mean? I've got to be able to explain something. So I got interested in it, but then just with the schedule of footy and kids, I sort of got sidetracked. But I've always said once the kids get old enough to understand, I'll learn with them. I'll take them on the journey, and then I'll just learn with them, and we'll learn together on the way. You know what I mean? So that's my plan. I don't know too much about it, but I definitely got a desire to figure it all out and learn about it. But I want to take my family on the journey with me, so they know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that'll be cool one day. Maybe as when I retire, that first year out of retirement, I'd love to do it. Go spend maybe 12 months or something abroad and try and figure a few things out about your life, and then get set for entering the real world sort of thing.
Well, your identity is your unique attribute to every person. It's something that you should, as I said, as you get older and have kids, you start to think more about. It could be religion, could be your background. and something you should learn about. So it's good that you got that mentality. You want to teach your kids that. It's because like I said, man, there's not many Gambians around. They're not going to learn it. Not going to learn it from no one else. I might as well learn it from Dad. So
that's 100%. That's 100% right.
But you moved up here to Sydney, or down here to Sydney when you're 16 or 17. I heard you lived with old Festa, Dean Feeney.
Yeah. I spent about 3-4 years with Dino. He's
how's he to live with?
He's a good man. He's a good man, bro. He's one of the best dudes I've met, and like what he did, like he was so selfless. You know what I mean? Like he was always working hard, but he was always still. He knew what he was there to do. You know what I mean? And it was weird because he had his son live with us too.
Yeah.
And he was never once biased or never once. His son never got more than us. He just treated us all like his kids, which was unreal. I didn't realize that until probably 2 years out of living with him. Like after living with him, you go, "Fuck, how good was that? Like how much he actually, treat us like family." And he didn't just give it always just look after us too. If we fuck up, he'll let us know. Like we needed that. Because that age where you're going through your adolescence where you go either way, you know what I mean? You come to Sydney and you with your mates and that, and everyone has different mates, different paths, all that sort of stuff, and you're going to choose which way you're going. You know what I mean? Like you're going. But Dino was good for that too because he gave us a good crew to hang around, like with Jimmy and that, Jimmy D, who you just mentioned before. We had a good crew to hang around, and blokes who weren't stiffs. Well, 180, like you can relate to from your childhood, those sort of blokes you knock around with and that, and then I still got that feel of you'd knock around blokes, but then I'd still pull you in line if you're going too far, so it was good.
Dino's deceivingly tough, like he's got the good old head on him, and you think he's a strange old man and stuff, fucking, but he's a knockabout, and he's got a bit of ticket to him, and he told me a bit of a story about you. Well, if you told Jimmy to tell me the story about how you used to hide the food in the fridge. Is that right?
Yeah, I would have. For sure. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past me. No, I always locked my tucker, eh?
He said you used to hide it, and you used to hide it from everyone else. You hide it in the fridge in certain areas. Yeah. And he goes, mate, that's not the Woolloomooloo way, he said, right? He took you out the Woolo and he showed you the Woolo way. Is that right?
Oh, I love the Woolloomooloo fucking tiki tour. We used to go on the Woolloomooloo tiki tour all the time. But yeah, no, I think that was the African coming out of me. If you got a bit of feed, you got to hide it for a while.
Yeah, he's a good man, mate. Even a couple of months ago, I was a kid that wanted to move up from, where they from? Tamworth. Good little fullback. He goes, mate, just tell him to come train with us at Parramatta, and he can stay at my house for 2 weeks if he needs. It's all good. He's just that kind of guy. You're very lucky to have a mentor like that at the start, yeah?
No, I definitely know that. Yeah, he is. He's that sort of bloke who's just willing to do anything for someone that's going to help him.
Yeah.
For no return. He's generous,
Mate, you got your first grade debut 2014 at the Dogs. I actually remember it because I was trying to figure out your name. Going, I'm one of those inquisitive fuckers. Always, I'll see a surname and I'll try to figure it out. Anyway, you had your first grade debut. I think it was round 8, 9, or 10 or something. It was early in the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I played. Would have been. It was around. I think it was around Australia Day.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, Anzac Day. It was around Anzac Day.
Was it? I thought it was June long weekend or something.
I can't remember. It was early. I think it was it was early. It was around April maybe.
You won that game, right? And then again, I didn't see your name. Names carry in my head, especially when they're different. The different names.
Yeah.
And then your name kept on popping up for the GF, and the GF was your second first grade game, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I strung a handful of games together between that debut and my GF, because that year was when Hodgkinson and Reynolds were playing Origin, see?
Yeah, that's right.
I was bouncing in for those boys.
You're right, yeah.
And I racked up about 8 games before that GF. So I think that was my 9th game or 10th game of GF. But I was still pretty raw. But I was just coming in and out for Hodgkinson and Reynolds when they were going to Origin duties.
So Ennis got injured for that game, and then it was out of you and Rennie for that spot, that 9 spot.
Yeah.
Were you roommates with Rennie back then? You used to be roommates, right?
Yeah. We were living together then. Yeah, we lived together from 2013 to 15.
How was it at home? Both of you fighting for that one spot.
No, it was.
You don't want to get into a stick with Rennie. He's a bit of a big cut.
No. I was never going to go toe to toe with him, but no, it wasn't. See, we all knew that I was going to play anyway. That was sort of in the media. We're trying to keep it hush hush and bounce a few names out there.
Yeah.
But all week I knew I was playing. Like I got told on like the Monday that I was playing on the Sunday.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to ease it up in the media because we knew that I was going to get spotted up because I had all those Burgess boys, bloody Ben Teo, had a big pack, Sutto.
Yeah.
So I think Desi was just trying to hide us a little bit in the background. Didn't have to get run over too many times.
So, he's went down, obviously. It was a fucking hard match to watch. South played out of their skins. They played awesome that night. How is it for a young fella? So you're probably 20-year-old back then, 21 maybe?
Yeah.
How's it for a young fella, number one, tasting that kind of defeat for the first time? And then number two, how did you figure out how to get back on the horse and start riding again?
I got some really good advice after that game, and that's what really made me appreciate it more. Like during that week, I was actually, because I was living with Rennie. Rennie said to me, because he in 2004 was his first year as well, and they won the comp.
Yeah. And
he said to me, look, he goes, whatever happens this weekend, he goes, you may never ever play in another grand final again. They're so hard to get to. He goes, you've only played 8-9 games and you're playing a grand final. Don't take it for granted. And I was like, oh, that's the best. Like looking back, that was the best advice because I was thinking, oh, everyone wants to play grand finals. I'm already in one fucking 8 games in. What's everyone fucking whinging about? Yeah. But then, look, now I'm 6 years on and I haven't even been close to one. So, I'm so grateful that I got to taste it at that level back then. And, now it gives you a little bit more fire in the belly to get there again and like redo your wrongs, you know what I mean? So, but, I got some really good advice that week. Living with Ren was mad because he had been there, done that. And he'd also, he'd fucked up a few times and he'd, come back and he'd been here and there and everywhere. So, it was, I had some real good advice. That was a real good part of my life living there. I learned heaps. We had some real good times together, and then we always trained hard. We had a good time off the field, but we trained hard, and then we played hard too. It was good.
Mate, you went to obviously it's a 2018. You've moved on. Halfway through the season, you announced that you're going to the Tigers. Now, Dean's in charge at that pay. What was the reason behind the move to the Tigers? Obviously, look, there's always a financial attribute to it. There's sometimes, but was it Dean holding you back a little? And like I heard, whoever's been under Des loves Des, right? And I spoke to Adam the other day, and he's like this freak of a coach that's got a different style, but everything makes sense once you do it. Was it different style of coaching for maybe, or mate, was it just a financial decision? What was it for your move to Tigers?
See, it was financial, but not really financial beneficial for me. It was more that I was on too much money at the club at the time. So what happened was when I was at the Dogs with Desi, they were doing those back end deals back then, and so that year I was due to make heaps of bank, and so they had to, because I was taking up so much of the salary cap, they had to move me on, and I ended up getting extended a couple of years at the Tigers to counter for it, but yeah, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave the Dogs. The Dogs were so good. I didn't want to leave, and I didn't want Desi to leave, but he left, and I stayed with Dino, and then I still didn't want to leave the club, but the way it turned out, it was going to be best for everyone, all the parties involved, for me to move on. So I did it. Yeah, I did it. It was good. It's been different, but it's been good. I think I've come to a good club at a good time where it's growing. The club's real growing, and we got some good stability. It was really good coming in under Ivan, and then he left, which was like, oh fuck, what have I done here? But then Madge come in, and he brought his pretty hard edge to it, and we've built some really good culture around the club now, and it's stable. But unfortunately, we're going through this fucking virus shit. But this year could be good for us when we get back into it.
Well, you said when you got there, Ivan was in charge, and I've met Ivan a couple of times. He seems like a fucking top bloke, right? He seems like a person that can't hate. You like him immediately, right? I heard through the grapevines, through people I knew around the club, when he left, the boys weren't happy about it for the way he left. Were you guys let down a little bit, like the way it all got handled, or is the media misconstruing that, it's making it worse than what it is?
Nah, we were disappointed. We were disappointed because we had a chat about a week or so, or a month or so prior to him leaving, and we sort of said, "Oh, look, let's not talk about it." Kind of, we brushed it under the mat, but we were all in the background. All the boys, all the senior boys, are kind of like, "He's leaving," you know what I mean? Like, and to be honest, we understand. Like, you get offered fucking $5 million for 5 years. Who's not? I'm like, come on, that's fucking real. Like, like, call a spade, you know what I mean? Like, look at us now, we're in coronavirus and everyone's itching for their next paycheck. So, Ivan's sweet. He's sitting on about what, $2 million? You got 2 years out. So, look, we understood. We're disappointed in the principles of it, the way he did it. But in saying that, we understood that this game, you don't get many opportunities, especially opportunities like that. So when you do get them, you got to take them.
So obviously Madge came in, took over. He trains in my gym. He's a fucking top river bloke. But mate, just talking to him, he's hard line. So I'm close to a lot of the South boys who've been there for years. And Michael's like, nah, it's my way or the highway. He's a tough prick. How is the contrast? How hard was that contrast of coaching from Ivan and he's a little softer and a bit more of the boys to Madge, who's like, nah, let's fucking do it way, and it's very hard. Makes you fucking do extra things. How contrast at first, and how does it feel now?
Yeah, look, it was. I felt like I managed it pretty well because I was coached by Des, and Des was hard. Des was fucking a hard trainer, man. His work was extremely hard, so had a pretty good platform from that. And then also Dean Pay, when he came in, we had a hard preseason too. So I've always had pretty solid preseason. So when Madge came in, he was hard. He's hard, but he's pretty fair. You know what I mean? Like, he's honest. That's all you can ask for in a coach or in a bloke. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing shit and you get dropped, well, you're playing shit. Like, of course you're gonna get dropped. But at least he's honest. He doesn't beat around the bush and say, oh, you this, that, the other. He just goes, look, you're not going good, you're out, or you're going good, you're in. Like, I like that. You appreciate honesty. That's all you can ask for in a bloke and a coach. Just to be honest.
And I think that's one of his major problems at South was it was so hard. There were certain players at the end of their careers, and you still expected the most out of them. Or you're going to be fucking dropped, and they didn't like that. And from what I hear, it's a lot of the players have gotten the officials' ears. I like his style of coaching. That's like you said, mate. That should be the best policy. If you guys need to get to another level, or if you're getting paid to be at that level, get there and make sure you're there.
I think he changed a little bit. Yeah. I think he changed a bit from when he was at South. I think when he came to Tigers, he got a bit better. Apparently.
He was pretty hard. From what I hear at South, he was rock hard. Like, there was no excuses. It was done every day. You had to do what he was fucking told. Mate, that's the coach. That's how you get results. What do you do with that? Yeah. So it's for you. It's worked, right? He's identified you as a captain, right? You're 26 years old. You're 25 when he made you captain. Are you co-captain or just a captain?
Co-captain this year.
Who with?
Benji.
With Benji, okay. Oh, well, fuck. You got a great predecessor, a great guy to bring you up.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. He's done everything. And you know what? Just the fact that he could have went backwards like a motherfucker a couple of years back after that Super Rugby stint. And he's come back probably stronger than anyone's ever come back, to be honest. Bro, like, what is that? What are the key elements you reckon that have helped develop your leadership skills? Because I heard you're a pretty shy guy when you're young. You weren't an out there person. But what is it you think that's made that? Do you think the being at the Tigers and being one of the senior players there, and even that you were young, those players, you had a young squad. Do you think that's propelled you to become a good leader? And ultimately, did that maybe catch the eyes of all the Origin selectors?
No, I think the biggest lesson I ever got about leadership was parenthood. I think certainly parenthood. I think I think leadership's just if you are naturally a leader, it's displayed of what you do. You know what I mean? And there's no better time to be a leader than in front of your kids. You know what I mean? Like they're your own offspring. You don't want to raise fucking idiots. You know what I mean? So you need to show them how to do things because they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're kids. So it's a responsibility. It really is, because if you're over here fucking up doing this, that, the other, and then you tell them to do something else, they look at you and go, well, why would I listen to this cunt? Like, look at you. So, you know what I mean? So you got to practice what you preach. And then I think just living like that for those few years, I just automatically, I just tried to live my life like that and just transferred onto the field and around training, and the way I just went around my business and just being honest, you know what I mean? I'd just call a spade a spade. I think it's easy to do that. If you don't like someone, tell them. If you like them, let them know. It's just easy to live like that.
Yeah.
It's transparent.
It's worked for you, because then you obviously made your Origin debut this year, and mate, like you said, the utility role probably worked for you, because I'm a coach. In my opinion, the most important player is the player that can play the most positions, because then I can utilise them anywhere I need. But in your case, you've played with a team that was coming up, and mate, he was a whisker away from winning the whole series. But the second game, you had an anaphylactic shock or some shit. What happened?
Yeah. I did. To be honest, I still don't know what happened. It was weird. I was like, I'm not allergic to anything, but second game we're in Perth, and just had this anaphylactic shock about 2-3 days out from the game, and it was so weird. It was a weird experience. So just went down in my hotel room one time, and then just couldn't breathe, and then I got all dizzy and then passed out, and then Doc brought me back. Yeah, it was so weird. It was strange preparation to a game, but now I just got to keep my EpiPen around and just make sure I got that on me in case something happens again.
Has it happened again? Or have you got close to it?
No. Like, I've been to the hospital and had heaps of tests and spent a couple of days at a clinic up in Concord with this immunologist, and it was actually funny because about 2-3 weeks ago I had my big testing coming up, all the bloods and everything to find it all out, but the coronavirus came, so it put it on hold. But it's taken that long to work things out, and like it's all patterns and bloods and all that sort of stuff. I don't know, it's heaps to it, but the coronavirus has put me on hold because of the hospital.
But so is there a test that can test you for like different allergies, and if you're allergic? Have you done that?
There is, but there's a high percentage of people. It's pretty high. It's like nearly, I don't know the exact number, but I'm going to say it's around 40% of people who have anaphylactic shock never find out what they're actually allergic to. So
really,
that could be me. Yeah. It's just maybe it's lower than that, but it's still pretty high. Like, it was a significant number when I heard it.
Cool. Fuck. You watch yourself, mate.
Exactly right. Fuck,
carry that pin around.
Oh, if I go like that, I was fucking ready to go.
Yeah. All right, so look, you're 26. What's your aspirations moving forward? Like, all right, you want to win the premiership. That's 100%. Mate, are you the kind of guy that wants to captain Australia or captain Queensland, or what kind of aspirations have you got moving forward, and how are you going to reach those aspirations if you really want to get there?
I think I don't set like goals like that. I don't set big goals like ahead. I know everyone tells you to do that, but for me, my goals are just daily. You know what I mean? Like, just win a day. I feel like the goal's the result. That's the outcome. But if you can just win your little moments every day and just get better every day, you'll end up becoming good enough to get that outcome. So whatever happens to me. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going to keep going and just keep being the best I can be, and wherever I end up, I end up. I don't have a place where once I get there, I'm done or whatever. I'll just keep going until I feel like I don't want to, until I don't want to go that place anymore or whatever. I'm just going to see what happens with me. I don't have anywhere I really, really want to go. So
you got no board? I've done a lot of athletes. They've got boards.
No, I don't do that.
Fucking premiership, and I don't do it either. I never made it, but I was awful.
but because heaps of my mates do that too. They're like, oh, you got to have your goals, you got to have this, that, the other. I'm just like, yeah, well, at the end of the day, I'm here to just create the best opportunity for my kids. So whatever I can do in between to give them the best opportunity to do what they want to do, what they can do, then I'm happy.
Ultimately, that's the most important part, man. So it's all about the kids.
Yeah, that's it.
The right path. I've got some viewer questions, bro. So I've got some mad ass West supporters send me all this.
Yeah, get on it.
All right. The difference between the free. So this is from Danny Rosetsky. The difference between the free coaches who you've had, but who is the more intense out of Hasler and Madge?
It's such a good question, but it's so difficult to answer. They're so different. Like, Madge is a lot more emotional. He's a lot more invested, and everything he does is fully genuine. Like all of his emotion is fully genuine. It's like he's about to play. He gets that worked up. And with Des, he's so intense but measured. His intensity is measured. He's a master manipulator, Desi. He knows how to get you going in certain ways. You know what I mean? He'll poke you into this corner to act this way, and then he'll bring you down this way to get you to go the other way. So they're so different, but both super intense coaches.
Yeah. All right, it's the guy Lincoln Hudson. He's my actually boxing trainer. He's trained a couple of world champions, this bloke. He's a tragic fucking Tiger supporter. Tragic. He says, the first question is, where do you see Packer's future? Right? I'm presuming Russ Packer's still there, is he?
He's still there. He's injured still. He's been injured for a long time.
So do you think he'll get back to his best at the Tigers or another club waiting for him? What do you reckon? He'll be back at the Tigers?
Look, I think for Russ, he'll certainly be back at some stage. It's just he's got a weird injury. He's got a strange injury where he's cracked a plate in his foot, and where it's cracked, there's a heap of nerve endings, so he gets a heap of pain out of it, and it's real complicated what was going on. But he's had a surgery recently that he said was really successful, and he said he's on the mend. So maybe this coronavirus is a blessing in disguise for him. You know what I mean? Buy a bit of time and get and prep up a bit better, and then he can hit the ground running when we get back.
His next question is: Do you see a future as you as a centre partner to Lulaboy, or do you see yourself in another club?
It's a good question, but because they're the hard questions, you know what I mean. They're the ones you got to answer yourself, because I certainly do see a future in the sense of like Lua, but I don't see a long-term future there. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. The long-term future may be at another club for opportunity. Opportunity may pop up here at this club. You never know. So, like I said before, you can't plan too far ahead in this game. This game's throws too many curveballs. If you plan too far ahead, you're gonna be too disappointed. Why would you set yourself up for disappointment? You just be the best you can be every day, and then whatever comes, whatever opportunity pops up, you want to take it. If you don't want to take it, sit around, whatever.
But, you got a killer backline at the moment, I'll tell you. Our last one is. What do you think from Scott Pena from Queensland? What does Moses think his best position is and why?
It all depends on who I'm playing with, but I think if I've got a really strong halfback, I think my best position is 5'8". Yeah, and why? I just think I enjoy defence. I enjoy defending the front line, and I think, but I enjoy running the ball too. Where I struggle is organising the game and building the game and kicking game all together. So when I've got a real strong halfback who does all that stuff for me, the organising and some of the kicking, I can just play that running game, play both sides of the ruck, run the ball, and then I can defend the front line. So that's the reason I think 5'8" is good if I've got a real strong halfback.
Great answer. All right. Mate, last minute. So we've got the 1 minute wonder. This is just a couple of questions. Whatever comes to your mind, say as quick as possible. It's just as easy as possible, right? So best player you've played alongside?
James Graham.
Best player you've played against?
Jonathan Thurston.
He'd be great. Toughest player you've ever played with or against?
James Graham.
Yeah.
The
grubbiest player you've played against?
Mick Ennis.
Yeah, I'm able to pick that.
I played with and against him, so yeah.
What about Josh? You played against him? Would he be a grub?
Yeah, he would be for sure. Yeah, for sure.
He's a shit stirrer.
Yeah.
Best player in the game today?
Cam Smith.
Most overrated player in the game today? No one answers this.
Who's the most overrated? I'll give you one. I'm trying to think who it is. Josh Alloway.
Josh Alloway.
Nah. I don't know. It's hard to think. I can't think of someone. I appreciate what everyone does. You know what I mean? It's so hard to.
I'm trying to start a stink on the field. That's all.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's good. I like it. But I'm trying. If I get one, I'll message it to
you. Next champs of the NRL.
Next what?
Next champs. Who's going to be the champs?
Oh man! Now with this Corona shit, who knows? I would have said the Roosters go triple threat, but Now, who knows? I'm gonna throw someone out. I'm gonna say Penrith.
Penrith. I'll say Tigers, mate. Go on, pick the Tigers.
Thank you, bro.
All right, a couple of fight questions here. Khabib or Ferguson? When it fucking finally happens.
I'm gonna go Khabib.
Yes, man. Tyson Fury or AJ?
AJ. I like him. I
AJ?
like Fury too. Yeah, I'm gonna go AJ. I like Fury, but I don't know. I like AJ. He's got that nice flair to him. Looks good.
He looks good. Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Tim Tszyu or Jeff Horn?
Tim Tszyu. I hope he wins. I like him, but yeah, I know Jeff Horn a little bit too, but so it's hard to say. But I reckon Tim Tszyu will beat him.
I think Tim's on the way up, and Jeff's probably just
100%. Yeah,
it's good timing. Last question, very important one. Who wins? A striker or takedown?
Takedown.
Fuck all you footy players all the same, huh?
Takedown. Well, you're saying Khabib's going to beat Ferguson, so...
Still, it's all right. Khabib's still... Moses, mate, thanks for your time, brother. It was actually a really good chat. You're a legend of a bloke. Thank you for the 20-minute tutorial on Zoom. It didn't work out. But I wish you all the best. And after Corona, we'll catch up for a beer for sure, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, bro. See ya. Bye.